fighting for our health care is about today. And what do you think?
Well, we have Priscilla Romans, who's the founder of Grace
What
Care.
is it? What's it called again?
Grace Care, yes. It's a mixture of grace and faith, which is wild. We'll ask her why she named it that.
And it's all about advocacy and why, for the last 3 years, we haven't had any patient advocacy. So you're going to find out what's going on, what you can do to support you and your family in times of trouble.
Be your own advocate.
Yes. See you in a sec. Welcome to Raising the Frequency with Tim and Shannon.
Good morning. I'm so happy to see you all today.
Are you really, or are you just saying that?
No, I always am. I love Tuesdays, mostly. I mean, except for when I'm sleepy. But I took my mind fuel today, so I'm up on my game.
Well, you know, you always ask me how my weekend went, so I'm going to jump.
Dan, you never asked me about mine, so how was yours, Tim?
Well, was yours as exciting?
You never.
You think yours is exciting as mine usually is? I don't know. I think I live a different lifestyle.
Yeah, tell me. I know. Must be nice to have all the freedom in the world and money's not an object and you can just live your life. But I'm going to manifest that. So keep going. How was your weekend, Tim?
All right. So we were at, Tommy and I flew out to Dallas and we were at the Healing for the Ages conference with Dr. Brian Artis and his docs he brought together. And I'll tell you, this is why Brian did this. He was just tired of all the other MDs and the doctors not taking him serious about what's going on with the snake peptides.
They're not taking Brian serious? Dr. Artis serious?
Well, they're not taking the snake venom, or the venom, I should say, venom peptide bioweapon, right?
Okay.
That these spike proteins are loaded with venom. And if you don't diagnose the problem correctly, you can't get the right prognosis. And so, I mean, even in the truth movement, the doctors are not talking about it. So I didn't understand it. So he's like, screw that. I'm just going to hold my own event, right? Because he was canceled from events. He was almost canceled from the event that we helped sponsor, right? And it was
Good for him. See, if you want something done right, you do it yourself.
Yes.
Period.
And he's a loyal man. I call him Batman because he understands who's out there to support him, who's not. But he held this event, and there was 500 plus people there at least, and he had 15-something thousand people watching online. And it was just it's seamless. It wasn't it, Tommy? Wasn't it just like seamless? Tommy, are you there?
Sorry, we're setting things up back here. It was very seamless, and I think a lot of people really appreciated everything that was said, and there was a lot of great information, and it was different from normal events. You go to events and there's 40 speakers, everyone gets 20 minutes to speak. There was 4 people. They had 2 days to share information, and I think that it should be a model going forward.
So what's the biggest thing you took away, Tom?
Probably some really good information I can't say on the censored news segment.
Yeah.
But I will share later on.
Yeah, and listen.
On uimedianetwork.com. If you guys are watching us through YouTube or Facebook, go to uimedianetwork.com because in about 15 minutes, we go over there to Uncensored.
And yeah, you're going to want to hear about that too. Before we get into censored news, I just want to say is that we interviewed some of these top doctors there. We had about 7 doctors all together. You had Lee Merritt there and a whole bunch of other people. And we got information on what's coming on this next pandemic.
Oh, great. What is it?
And this created pandemic and what's coming. And we're going to release that by next week, Ashley, Tommy. And we're going to try to beat the curve here before they release what's coming. And I'm telling you what, it's initially scary, but there are solutions to this. And this is what we're going to be sharing is what you need to do, prepare now before this occurs.
Which is the best thing. Who's coming on our show for that? Are we going to have...
we're going to have Dr. Group come on as well, and Ely and the rest of them. They're going to join us over the next few weeks. But it's just...
knowledge is power.
It is.
You know what? Because of what you kind of got me out of the woods and my head in the sand with the whole COVID thing, thank God for that. I'm so grateful. So I'm also grateful that I'm still here for raising the frequency that we will know what to do for the next pandemic. Because if Russia's even talking about them causing another pandemic, then But it's like hit after hit after hit. Like, enough.
It is. And
we need a break.
And the irony of it
Let
all.
us live the American dream for a moment.
Well, I think those days are gone.
No.
We're rushing to the 2030 Great Reset. Thank you, Klaus Schwab, and the rest of them. By the way, we have a great video on Havari that I think we're going to be playing.
You know what? I'm not afraid of 2030.
What?
Can I tell you why?
Yeah, why?
Because whatever happened with 2021? It's gone and passed.
No,
is that just COVID?
No, they started the 2021 on 2020, so they're on track, guys. But they're moving so fast. They're burning the DOWs. They're doing things so much is that they're going to be. Okay, I can't say too many things on the uncensored. They're going to be moving it quickly. But I will say is what's going on. We said 9/11, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And we had a great
Can I tell you,
video,
because my husband said that it was an inside job, like you say, like everybody says, right? So I am finally ready to now see the proof of it. And the internet is scrubbed.
I know.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it is.
There are no videos. I can't find any. Do you guys know where to find them? Because it was proven that it was an inside job, right? And what happened with that $1 trillion? What's up with that? I just learned about that.
A lot of people who saved that stuff back then have it, but they just scrub it. So the next generation will never know really what happened. They'll think 9/11 was exactly what they said the mainstream media said because they scrubbed all the good stuff and they don't allow it to come out on mainstream. This is why it's called hijacking it, right?
There's so much though more to it because so much misinformation with people saying one thing. There are a lot of truthers. Here I go. With them claiming that no planes hit the building, and then other truthers saying planes definitely hit the building, but it was an inside job. There were bombs going off, and that somebody owed $1 trillion. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, can you talk about that? Or
that was in the bad building, but I want to say that I think Chassis says, "Smash, love the red lipstick."
Yes, it looks so good on you. I can't stop staring at him. Like, oh my god, she looks so good.
Really? Is it MAC?
Red lipstick is what Hugh Hefner never met his girl. Never let his girls wear red lipstick.
Why?
I don't know. Probably because the girls look hot AF in red lipstick and insecure men can't handle it. Because men are jealous of women, apparently. That's our new thing.
Well, outside of Hugh Hefner, you know who Biden is?
Yes.
He's the president, right?
Here we go.
He never showed up to the 9/11.
Yeah, what's up with that? The only president in 22 years since 9/11 happened, he did not even show up at the memorial. He did not do it. Like, what? How?
He was in Vietnam, and then they stopped at Alaska because apparently that's like a stopping point where they get refueled. But that's where he was during yesterday. But real quick, to comment on what you guys were talking about earlier, PragerU, they're like a media company, but like a school as well, and they like getting the truth out more on the Republican side of things, and a lot of people trust what they come out with, kind of like the Daily Wire.
Okay.
And
what's it called? PragerU?
PragerU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prager. Okay.
Kevin Prager's company, but they released this thing, and it was like this kid who was talking about 9/11 and saying, a lot of people my generation weren't born then. Here's what happened, and they go through the mainstream media narrative. And so many comments. So literally the mass majority. I'm surprised they didn't turn them off. Everybody was calling it out for being an inside job. And there will be here and there the comments of people saying, this is disgusting. Like, you guys need to...
Well, because people really died. And so a lot of people, they don't want to handle that. And this is another thing about... and I'm just going to play devil's advocate because I definitely do believe it was an inside job, okay?
It's not about believe, it's a fact.
Well, I'm trying to explain why people, they can't handle it. I feel like, and a lot of people make things, like the truthers, for instance, they make things happen because they can't understand that sometimes bad things, terrible things happen.
I think they know more so now it was inside job because just look what just happened to Maui. Maui's more people died, and it's a Holocaust there. I mean, it was probably the same DEWs that was used in the buildings, But I'll tell you, I'm glad he didn't go because you know what? These guys don't care. They're the ones who did it, So for them to show up and pretend like they care, to me, that's more of an insult than them not showing up. In my personal belief.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think the whole thing is just disgusting, and I think that the world is full of liars. And how do we ever find the truth?
Well,
I feel like we have to really not only research but trust your intuition on certain things.
well, yeah, I agree with you. But Shannon, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What's going on with your meth head state in New Mexico?
You guys, people are pissed off. They're angry. The governor of New Mexico just put a 30-day ban on firearms. So concealed weapon to carry. I have friends.
Let's
do we have video?
Let's play video, and then I want to hear your comment of it. Okay, Tommy, play the video of what this governor did.
She's always been. She's New World Order. She's always been.
Of course they are.
Someone got a concealed carry permit in Albuquerque walking down a public street, they're not going to get arrested.
I can make the point that they should be. But your point is valid.
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carry license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute. There are restrictions on free speech. There are restrictions on my freedoms. In this emergency, this 11-year-old and all these parents who have lost all these children, they deserve my attention to have the debate about whether or not in an emergency we can create a safer environment. Because what about their constitutional rights?
A couple things to unpack there. Number one, she said that because of an emergency that she declares, it's not an actual emergency. What happened was a child got shot. She can declare an emergency and then suspend the Constitution. That simply is not how it works. This has been tried before in American history, and the people who have done it, it's not fared well for them. Obviously, New Orleans was the most recent example of something like this happening, and obviously a lot of people had to pay huge fines, and a couple people went to jail because of what they tried to do by suspending the Constitution in an emergency. You cannot do that. It cannot be done. The framers intended it that way. They knew there would be emergencies. You absolutely cannot suspend the Second Amendment, and it is a civil right to be able to carry a firearm. The Civil Rights Act is very clear. You cannot do this under the color of law. There are other laws that go even more specific into this, but 100% cannot do this. She is wrong. She is committing multiple felonies by issuing this order.
So,
yeah.
let's unpack this for a second. Okay. She committed a crime. People went to jail already when they did the suspended the Constitution in Louisiana during the, that whatever that hurricane was called, Katrina. And I'll tell you what, I don't, it's not enough to say, her to repeal it. She needs to be there needs to be armed people going up to the governor, taking her out, arresting her, and putting her in jail. What she did, she committed basically treason against the Constitution of the United States.
But she always has. When COVID hit, she was so dirty. She was making people line up for this vaccine. She was closing down everything. Yet she was going into jewelry stores without a mask. She was having them open just for her. She's sick, right? So what happened is a tragedy. It's a total tragedy, and it's so sad because an 11-year-old did die. However, you do not take the guns away from the good people because the criminals are not going to listen to you.
The criminals?
What idiots are we that think that if we take everybody's gun away, the criminal won't use his gun for 30 days?
The criminals are a government at this point,
And what does she mean that the Constitution is not absolute? It absolutely is absolute. And guess who else says that? President Biden. So they're trying to push this agenda that the Constitution is not absolute.
And neither is her oath, apparently.
Yeah, but get out of office.
Yeah, and this is the thing. She committed, like that guy pointed out, multiple felonies. She should go to federal jail.
She needs to be in jail.
Get this.
But she won't because she's part of the New World Order. She's intertwined. How she even got elected, I should say selected, is so intertwined it's not even
You're very
funny.
passionate about New Mexico.
I can't stand her because I lived there.
So in April,
I can't stand her.
In April, get this too. This year in April, they were just passing so many bills that were lax on crime, allowing criminals to get away with more shopping. They can steal more stuff. Raising the age of when kids and other people can get arrested. So they're relaxing on crime. She's passing bills that don't affect, that are allowing criminals to get away with more crimes. And then as soon as something like this happens, she takes the rights away from the American people, the law-abiding citizens. This is exactly the playbook that they use, and it's insane. Exactly what you said.
To top this off, let's really go into Child Protective Services for 1 minute. It was an 11-year-old. That's why she took everybody's gun away. Do you realize that the state of New Mexico takes these children that are taken away from their parent? One kid got kicked in the stomach so hard by his parent, he told his counselor at school. They took him away, then put him back to the parent, and then the kid was dead. Another 4-month-old was caught with marijuana in her system. They took the baby away, brought it back to the mother, and the mother's boyfriend then raped a 4-month-old, and the baby died. They are putting these children back in harm's way in the state of New Mexico. If you want to do something about that, say I can't. I'm like getting really angry.
And then
I'm even going to start crying. I hate that.
And then on top,
I hate what they're doing there.
And then on top of that, they take kids away from decent families, right? And then give them to bad
Gender
families.
affirming. Oh, you don't want your 4-year-old to say that 4-year-old born a boy now wants to be a girl. We're going to take your child away. Did you hear what happened in the state of California?
Yeah.
That's exactly what just happened in the state of California.
We're going to talk about that in the uncensored news too. But I do want to say, speaking about children, you know, to this day, they're wrapping up the search for these missing kids. There's about 1,000 to 1,100 children still unaccounted for, and they're not finding many bodies in these burnt-out DEW housing and cars. So it's. I've never heard where you have 1,100 children missing and no one's doing it.
Nobody cares.
But you know what? Some of the
because you know why? Because everybody's dumbed down on freaking TikTok.
There you go. There you go. Nice catch.
I am too passionate.
You are
I've
passionate.
got to stop. My heart is beating out of my chest.
But let me just say this though. You know, with all the rumors going around in Maui and the children, it's fine to start exploring because they're locking down information. They're not sharing anything with us, right? So we should be accusing them until they start speaking.
What happened to transparency? Why aren't we getting angry at this? Why aren't we at the footsteps, banging down the doors, demanding answers?
Well, there's a video. I want to play here video because one of the things that this missing conspiracy is there's buses there and then there's missing buses there, and some people are saying they found the buses over at the airport.
Oh no!
And you know we don't know because we're not allowed to know, right? So we're going to have to.
So there's a lot of rumors, so we don't know.
But bottom line is there's 1,100 kids missing. Okay, we know that, right? Whether they're there or somewhere else doesn't matter. They're not unaccounted for. And one of the things is that if they was found at an airport, you know, they had these big chopper planes, these big transport planes there, helicopters, and we have a video of actually a helicopter flying above head during the fires. Let's play that video, Tom.
I found the video of the cargo helicopters in Maui during the time of the fire. Check this out. They can hold up to 55 passengers. Now, I want you guys to look at this. I'm going to show you the picture for comparison. But this was going on when they say no one was flying and no one was in the air. There were helicopters, and this looks exactly like a cargo helicopter, military. Take a good look. Let's do the comparison. Here's some models. Of course, there's different models that they make to carry certain things. But what do you think was really going on, guys?
Whether they used it in the cargo planes or they could have brought the kids underground in the buses. I mean, they have a lot of underground tunnels there and things like that. So who knows? But my point is, you don't stop asking and finding out. You just don't blow off. Everyone should be talking about it. The parents aren't there if they're dead, if they were killed in the slaughtering on the front road, whatever it was. You find out. This to me is, I can't believe this is not it everywhere. And people aren't looking.
Is any of this in mainstream media since it's?
They're saying in mainstream media that they're killed in the fire. That's all they're saying.
Would we find bones if it was?
Yes. Well, I mean, to some degree.
Yeah,
I mean, some things are just bad.
Like teeth, right?
Yeah. It's just like this normal experience in the fires. But anyway, so we got to get going. But we have a lot more censored news, uncensored news. We're going to talk about Oprah and The Rock, what's going blowback going on in them, as well as what's going on in California. Like Shannon said, with kids being removed for affirming care. So stay tuned, guys. More to come. Go to uimedianetwork.com right now on YouTube, uimedianetwork.com, and catch the truth, what we're going to be telling you here in a sec.